You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be.
There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, with minds that rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time will somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the hearts revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. This is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts come close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me where the magic happens, feeling all the hearts ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever. The secret is whenever, the secret is together we are.
Good morning. Oh, welcome to our Sunday service here at Center for Spiritual Living in beautiful, sunny St. George. We're very, very glad you've joined us today in this last Sunday of June. So welcome. We are an open, loving, inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. Our purpose is to love, teach, guide, and support a spiritual community in creating and living a life of love using science of mind and spirit principles and practices. Our vision is a community-based focused center actively living, sharing, and nurturing its members and friends so that we all may live our best lives. So our service team today, we have behind the scenes our core council president, Marina Anderson. She's making everything run smoothly and beautifully. My name is Gwen Hadley. I'll be hosting today, and I'll also be back in a bit to do the reading. We have our wonderful Alan Stanley doing our music, singer, songwriter delight. So we're always welcome him every single week he can join us. Our invocation is by practitioner Bill Smith. And then we have a special treat. We have our practitioners plugged in. We're giving Reverend Joe a day off. So we are always delighted to have our practitioners speak with us today. So with that, there is a garden. It's growing, Alan, in this.
Hello, Gwen. There is a garden. Yeah. Eddie Watkins Jr. wrote about it a little bit, and we'll sing about it a little bit. Hello, everybody. Wonderful day. So we're going to sing a little bit, and then Bill's going to come in and offer our prayer, and then we'll come back and sing a little bit more. So please sing along. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you dream of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning, St. George. I invite you to join me in affirmative prayer. As we gather together today for this Sunday celebration, I know that we do so in the presence of that one true power that unites, that power that guides, that power that shows us our true, beautiful, colorful selves. I know that as I am one with this power and with this presence, I know that everyone within this electronically transported medium is one with that presence as well. So this is what I know about today's service. I know that it is a bright and shining beacon for others to be drawn toward, And I know that as we continue our exploration of holy boldness, that today's talk about colorful to the core really brings out that closing episode of holy boldness. And I know that today's talk and today's music and all of this service help guide each and every one of us toward that boldness that we aspire to. So I just let it be so. And so it is. And amen.
So it is. Thank you, Bill. There is a God, whoops, and in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you dream of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Now we bring Gwen back and do a little bit of reading for us.
Thank you, Alan. Back again. So I was just inspired because we're talking about boldness. And I believe the title of the Practioners talk is Colorful to the Core. So I found, it inspired me to find a piece, one of my favorite pieces. So I'm going to share it with you. It's entitled, When I Am Old, I Shall Wear Purple by Jenny Joseph. When I'm an old woman, I shall wear purple with red hats, which don't go and that don't suit me very well. I shall spend my pension on brandy and summer gloves and satin sandals and say, we have no money for butter. I shall sit down on the pavement when I'm tired and gobble up samples in shops and press alarm bells and run my stick along the public railing to make up for the sobriety of my youth. I shall go out in the rain in my slippers and pick the flowers in other people's gardens and learn to spit. You can wear terrible shirts and grow more fat and eat 3 pounds of sausage at a go, or only bread and pickle for a week, and hoard pens and pencils and beer mats and things in boxes. But for now, we must have clothes that keep us dry and pay our rent and not swear in the street and set a good example for the children. We must have friends to dinner and read the papers. But maybe I ought to practice a little bit now, so people who know me are not too shocked and surprised when suddenly I am old and I start to wear purple. So be bold, be colorful. Life is way too short. Alan.
That's great, Gwen. That's great. So this is a song that was made famous by Cyndi Lauper. And but it was also in a movie in the 80s. I remember that because my children were younger, called Trolls. And that time it was sung, I think, by Justin Timberlake. So last week I sang a song about a frog. This week I'm singing about trolls. Tune in next week. We don't know what we'll be doing, but please sing along with this. You with the sad eyes Don't be discouraged. I know, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you can make you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid. Let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me your smile then. Don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If the world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, just call me up, 'cause you know I'll be there. I'll see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid. Let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. If the world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, just call me up. You know I'll be there, and I'll see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid. Let them show your true colors. True colors are like a rainbow. Your true colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
Thank you, Alan. You're expanding your genre
I sure am.
last week and this week. So wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we have, as I stated earlier, 3 practitioners that are going to present Colorful to the Core. And so our first lineup, we're going to start with practitioner Sue Fulmer. So good morning, Sue.
Good morning. Yes. Oh, thank you, Gwen and Alan and Bill. You started this meeting just so beautifully. It really does take a village. So here we are on June 30th. Wow, June is a done deal already. How did that happen? This was a month of holy boldness. Oh, holy boldness. Where did the time go? It goes so fast these days. I ask myself now, did I do anything this month? Well, let's look back and see what we learned through our CSL St. George Sunday go-to-meeting services. The first week was dedicated to sacred audacity, where Joe started out telling us that the meaning of audacity is the willingness to take risks. He asked us how we have been audaciously bold. And I made a list of times that I was willing to take risks. First, I went away to school. I was the first in my family to graduate from high school, and then the first one to go away to college. And I left home all alone, not knowing anyone in a new town and a big school. Then, after marrying and having a family, I took that step again and went back to school as a non-traditional student. That's what they called us older folks taking classes. It takes a lot of courage to sit in those desks and compete with 18-year-olds when you're over 40. I started a career at 47, alone in a classroom with scary teenagers. And now here I am in front of you, public speaking. I think all of that is audaciously bold. Joe said that doing something with the possibility of failure can add to who you are. I know that there is a special exhilaration facing something that's scary at the time that you do it, and now looking back, it brings pride and fulfillment. I agree with Joe's advice that we first create a mental audacity to know that it's all God and to take the risk, do it, and be it, and live the life that you want. Our second week in June, we celebrated together at the in-person meeting. Joe and his family were away with their son, who just graduated from high school and took the bold risk of becoming a member of the Marine Corps. Bill did an awesome job delivering words of wisdom about being fired up. He fired us up with a go team pep talk and then recognized fired up members of our congregation. Marina, our Corps Council President, creating and teaching a course on diversity and inclusion. Michael Kovach making the life-changing decision to join the Marines. And Chris McCardle and his support for the mental health of young gay men and their battle too often ending in suicide. We all love to hear the stories that Reverend Joe tells from his career with young people as a school counselor. Bill challenged us to think about times that we were fired up and how it felt. The audience offered words like excited, energetic, courageous, powerful, empowered, passionate, and eager. Bill added intense and focused, and noted that others see how we're feeling and that those feelings that when they show are very contagious. To live our holy boldness, Bill challenged us to first know who we are, whose we are, what we love, what we fear, and what triggers us to action or to avoid action. If you missed it, watch Bill's presentation on our Facebook page. It was awesome. June 16th, Reverend Joe's talk was titled Unstoppable. He explained that true freedom is with no outer or inner resistance and referred to our belief system or belief statement. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Each week that he speaks, Reverend Joe reminds us of our basic tenets and the values and principles of science of mind. I was inspired when I read in my notes from his talk, put your mind on the path of healing, pray for what you want. We are surrounded by an infinite possibility, and it expresses through me. Last week was entitled Higher Heights. I loved hearing Alan sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow and the Rainbow Connection. Joe wisely said, you get what energy you're coming from, reminding us that we create consciously and that we believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature. He encouraged us to be perfectly imperfect and to be bold enough to come from our own place. He reminded us that heaven is here right now, that God is everything, and I am that. In preparing this for you, I felt grateful that I had the opportunity to review these wonderful words and serve with all these great people that help CSL St. George to happen. So as a practitioner, what can I add for this 5th week of the month? Our theme for this week is Colorful to the Core. I believe our leaders at CSL are truly inspired when suggesting the topics for our Sunday presentations. Colorful to the core. That phrase could be taken many different ways. I love the colors of nature. When I see the bold blue sky and the vibrant red cliffs out in Snow Canyon, I say, thank you, God, every time. I also choose a peachy pink color of vincas every year to put in my flower pot. I stare at that color and think, how does nature make such a beautiful color? If this is how God creates in nature, with so much variety, of course, that is the nature of all creation. A false belief got a really strong foothold in the mass consciousness of certain groups of humans. Colonization, slavery, bias, and prejudice, and all its ugly effects are a result of thinking that one skin color is better than another, that some people are more deserving. I had to learn on my own, like many young people coming from a prejudiced background, that things are different that are different than me are not bad. They're just different. A friend was telling me about an ad on TV right now showing beautiful newborn babies. And then the words, were they born to be prejudiced? The beliefs in race consciousness are so permeating that children pick them up just by watching and listening to us adults and what we're saying and doing. And this includes attitudes about ethnicity, customs, gender, and gender identity, financial and social standing, age, disability. What a list. My gosh, why can't we just love one another? We're all human. While labels and identities help to clarify and specify important features, they can also be limiting and exclusive. People deserve to be known and to be recognized by their proper cultures, ethnicities, gender and sexual identities, and so much more. Yet we do not need to use our unique identities to limit ourselves or others. Throughout the daily guides in our Science of Mind magazine, Reverend Raymond Anderson, on almost every page, discusses this subject. If you don't have a subscription, I highly recommend that you get it in your home, read it, and let it influence you with good and the love that it promotes. On June 6th, Reverend Ray says, when we speak of oneness, let us not also lose the divinity in diversity. One tapestry, many threads. One window, many shards of stained glass. One rainbow, many colors. And he quoted Neil deGrasse Tyson, we are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the rest of the universe atomically, unquote. Can we embrace each other as unique beings who are colorful to the core in our own ways? Can we provide mutual support in stepping out with holy boldness? And Reverend Ray asks, are you willing to love so powerfully that you release any attachments to those old systems and paradigms and expressions of the collective consciousness? Are you willing to love without limits or conditions in such a way that the mere thought of you reminds others that they too are loved, are love, and are the beloved, incarnating itself as all that is? Eric Butterworth gave his answer to the question. Yes, you are the divine original, the divine original, and the divine intent, active as you, has one desire, to express expansively and creatively its uniqueness as the perfect idea it is in infinite mind. It is the spiritual destiny of all of us, every one of us. Thank you. And now we'll hear from lead practitioner Bill Smith. Namaste.
Thank you, Sue. That was a really excellent recap. And yeah, I want to echo that. Where has June gone?
Yeah.
And not only June, but where has the first half of the year gone?
Ooh.
That is just amazing to me. Yeah, so thank you. Now, as Sue already informed us, today's topic is colorful to the core. And I'd like to thank Alan for his rendition of True Colors. Well, it's really a beautiful song once you gear down and actually listen to the lyrics. I've probably been hearing it for, most of my life, and never really listened exactly to what was being said. So why is it so important to show our true colors anyway? Is it just so that Cyndi Lauper will love us? No, I don't think so. Actually, I believe it's important to show our true colors, to show our colorfulness for several reasons. First of all, at Centers for Spiritual Living, we honor and welcome diversity and all forms of people. I have a great deal of respect for one of our spiritual teachers. Her name is Tracy Brown, and she founded a concept called stained glass spirit communities. And it's interesting that without even discussing that, Sue and I both are talking about stained glass. But Tracy Brown uses the metaphor that our spiritual community is like a stained glass window, where each and every piece of glass is needed to make it beautiful. Just like the window, every person in our spiritual community is needed, where everyone works together, but each person can also shine as themselves at their best. My first quote is from Tracy, who said, "A stained glass spirit community is one where each person is recognized as a unique expression of God, and their individual strength and beauty become essential elements that contribute to a lively and inspiring collective experience." Now, a lively and inspiring and collective experience is really what I'm looking for in a spiritual community. I hope that's the same for most all of you. We'll come back to a spiritual community in a minute. I want to digress here a little bit and say, talk a little bit about diversity. In a past work experience, I was a continuous process improvement engineer for a manufacturing company. We practiced a Japanese technique called Kaizen, which loosely translated means rapid continuous improvement. Now, so management would choose a manufacturing area to focus this improvement methodology on, and we would embark on a 2-week journey of tearing apart the process and rebuilding it, both organizationally and physically. Now, the best part of the process was that it was completely up to the employees to determine what was broken, what needed to be fixed, and how to fix it, of course, with a little guidance from me. Although most of the improvement ideas came from the team members who permanently worked in that production area, we always added some other employees. Some came from other operations, other parts of the factory, or somewhere else in the company, like finance or human resources, or somewhere else. Intentionally creating diversity on these work teams completely changed the dynamic of the teams and helped employees think outside the box and create new improvement ideas. In fact, it's generally recognized that companies that promote and foster diversity in their workplaces are more successful than those that don't. They typically have increased creativity, which leads to better problem solving and decision making. They typically have productivity measures of 25% or more higher than their non-diverse competitors, and they're 30 to 35% more profitable. Now, you would think that all companies would go out and say, look at this data and say, let's get more diverse. But reaping the rewards of a diverse workforce or any other group isn't as easy as just throwing some different people together. The real rewards come with the development of a culture that encourages and invites diversity. I believe that's what CSL has and continues to build, an environment where diversity is not only valued, but where inclusion is considered a priority. This reminds me of the term Ubuntu, which means I exist because of you. It was written about by Bishop Desmond Tutu in his book, No Future Without Forgiveness. Apparently, it's a common greeting in his part of the world, but more importantly, it's a Zulu philosophy, which means that each one of us is interdependent on the life and experience of every other person we encounter. And it's in these types of cultures that inclusion of diverse peoples really works. In these cultures, there's an understanding that diversity and oneness are not the same thing, but that the difference is understood and emphasized. Diversity, after all, is just the existence of differences. Diversity exists, and it's neither good or bad. Oneness, on the other hand, is the relationship between the Creator, what we call God, the creator of all life, and everything that it creates. Oneness is a spiritual truth. It's a principle that is absolute. But oneness is not sameness. By recognizing that we can have diversity without having everyone being the same, we are able to encourage people to be their authentic selves, to be colorful to the core. One of the keys about being colorful to the core is authenticity. When we're showing up as our authentic selves, being wholly bold enough to show our true colors, we're being the true selves that God created. Each and every one of us is important to life. Life needs each of us in order to be complete. My second quote from Charles Fillmore: "The I am is pure spirit, the prism through which the white light of being is focused and refracted on the screen of visibility in many colors." Now, seeing the Pride Month advertisements or slides, and we'll have one. We had one in the pre-show, and we'll have one later on in the announcements. While I don't want to take away anything from the LGBTQ community, to me that's not just an invitation or an honoring of that particular group. I see it as a reminder that all of us have a right and a responsibility to show our true colors, boldly and as our grand rising. Now back to spiritual community. We have a good one. We can get better. We will get better. We will be made up of multicolored prisms. And actually, I misspoke that last part. We will get bigger. And as we get bigger, we're going to be made up of people that are different than the people that are in our spiritual community now. We'll be made up of multicolored prisms, as Charles Fillmore talked about. Diverse people who are not the same as each other, not the same as me, not the same as anybody else on this broadcast. Different people. And the spiritual community of CSL St. George will be promoting the authenticity of our members, our friends, our community, and all we come in contact with. I'll close now with a quote from Rumi. "It's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you. No one can walk it for you." All right, now I'll pass this along to Stephanie, who will take us home and who's going to talk about the mirror. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill and Sue. Wow, this was great. I love talking about color, and I've certainly had a colorful last month and a half. Not in the way that you thought of, but in the experience that I had, it took me to the struggle. It took me down. Okay. And I'm so grateful for being here to be able to tell you of a couple of experiences that I had in this last month. My whole life seemed to have fallen apart from March. Everything I thought I had went away. my livelihood. My daughter decided to leave and move to Hawaii, and she, at the same time, fell completely apart, and I was her caregiver for 24/7, which stretched me to the limit. I mean, I don't know how anybody is a caregiver 24/7. And having to be that because of no money really opened up, why is this happening to me? What is this? As I buried myself deeper and deeper and deeper. So what started that was a friend of mine from California wanted me to come out and spend some quality time with her. And she's has access to quite a bit of wealth, and it shows up in weird ways for her, and she's not clear on how it has happened. So she's in her own battle. But she offered to pay one of my credit cards off so that I wouldn't have any interest rate. Not that I wouldn't pay her back. This is not the thing. It was a sort of, it seemed like a mutual agreement, to which I said, sure, I'll do that. But all of a sudden it got really weird. And then she decided not to talk to me, it seemed to me. And I was kind of lost at myself and said, well, what is this all about? What is happening here? It seems that at 73 years old, you'd think the life would get bigger, better. But it seemed like it was going the opposite. So what was really happening to me, folks, was this. I was being pulled from every angle. And it was like I could not find the truth in me. What was going on? I was praying. I was doing all put
Hey,
down.
Lucy. Oh, there we go.
There we go. We're back. So yeah, there's that thing that goes on like this. It's just like, whoa, what's happening to my life? And we go, oh my goodness, I've got to change. I've got to do something. So what is it that I can do? Okay, so things seems to have taken a turn for whatever in all of society, in mass consciousness itself. And Ernest Holmes said, in expressing more life, we're expressing a greater degree of the infiniteness of spirit. Where was that for me? We are more completely personifying it. How do I personify it? What am I doing? Well, I was too busy being in the problem and not seeing from the solution. No matter how much I prayed, I didn't reach out to another practitioner to help me. Why was that? What was I not seeing? Why was I not going through this? And what was I doing with my relationship with Wendy? And so I kind of took back, and I kind of looked at myself, and I just went, and I had a realization, and realizations come from spirit. They do not come from our ego mind, okay? And the spirit was telling me, you can do this all by yourself. You don't need anyone else. And when that realization happened, I kind of sat up and I went, oh, I have a choice. Okay, this is great. All right. So a week and a half went by, and all of a sudden, Wendy gives me a call. And it had nothing to do with what I thought it was. It was something that she was going through that she needed to back off. And that's all it was. And so, see, I was wallowing in my collective shit, and it wasn't helping at all. So that is a compelling reason to join CSL. And here in St. George is that you find out what consciousness is. You find out what a treatment is. You find out that you have a choice. You can study. You can take classes. You can do many things that put you back on the road to recovery in many areas of your life, not just the financial. It could be health. It could be anything. It could be loneliness. You name it. Yeah, so burying those belief systems, we do have an opportunity to bring them out. So taking the plunge to take responsibility for the self. I use the term self-realization. My friend, she just wanted my company. She didn't really care whether or not, or I had to come to the understanding that it didn't care whether or not money had to be involved with it. And then forgiveness set in. And what I mean by forgiveness has nothing to do with what we think forgiveness is. Forgiveness to the masses seems like I have to forgive you for doing something to me. That's not the truth. The truth is we are one. And so if there is forgiveness to be had, it has to be forgiven by the whole scenario. Everyone that was included in it has to be forgiven, including myself. I had to forgive myself once I came to the realization of what I was doing. The same thing happened with the hens in my chicken coop. They are attacking one of the older hens, and it's sad. And I don't want to kill the hen to get it out of its misery, but I wanted the pecking to stop. You know, they were tormenting her. And I was tormenting myself. I was pecking at myself. My inner child was so sad and so bereaved at all of the choices that I had been making about I'm not good enough. I don't care enough. I'm not smart enough. You know, I can't make this work. What all of these things that come up, we as practitioners have the ability to move through, to take people through. And so I won't let myself go again without asking for help outside myself. So what are some specific practices or routines that you incorporate into your daily life to maintain this awareness and practice forgiveness consistently? I'd like to hear about that if you come to the Zoom call. We all have different ways of addressing situations in our life. And how do you see the innocence of those involved? And how do you give space for a new self for you to emerge, to be a testament to the deeper inner work and commitment to personal transformation? Like me, that's what I want. I want to be the new version of myself, and I want to feel it. And I want to use my imagination to do so. When you create a dedication to the science of mind, like Ernest Holmes speaks about, your practice of individualized affirmative action, your deep understanding of time becomes irrelevant because your eternal safety becomes truly profound. You are already whole. You are already perfect. You are already eternal. And so there is no, you don't have to think of, oh, I'm going to die if I have to do this. The only thing that has to die, that you have to do something, is the statement, I have to die. And that's your ego. That's your limited belief in yourself that it has to die. And it takes curiosity. It takes courage. It takes boldness. And it takes imagination. And imagination is absolutely the most colorful thing that you can think of in the planet. You can close your eyes and you can see a rainbow. You can close your eyes and you can see the sunshine. You can close your eyes and you can see the snow that is the glistening that the sun puts on the snow. You can close your eyes any time of the month, day, year, moment. You have color within you that you can rise up and you can say, I'm going to do this. Practitioners are worldwide, and they are also right where you are. And if you want to, you can even take classes in CSL, and like I did, like many of it, like we all did. And you can learn these practices and these formulas and these treatments that are in the book of the Science of Mind, how to give them and how to come from a place of it's already accomplished because of this infinite intelligence that is in us is perfect. And that is you. And so to wipe away this separation that we came here to, find out what it was all about, is what's happening in the world today. Infinite Source is taking it back, okay? And it's dissembling and disabling every place in me that wasn't effective anymore. And it's making me see it and making me feel it. And as I do it, it lifts it out of me in such an easy, compassionate, and beautiful way. I invite all of us to just consider hiring a practitioner to help us out. So with that, I'm just going to close today with a statement. But first of all, I want you to listen to this and kind of say it with me. I'm going to say it a couple of times. Habits eat intentions for breakfast. Habits eat intentions for breakfast. And then you got the rest of the day. So create habits in your life, habits of being the best that you can be, because that is who you are. Okay, and so we have one affirmation I would like to say. Oh, this was in the beginning, but I'll read this. Okay. Nothing can deplete you when you are in the receptive mode. Nothing depletes you, nothing, because you've embraced contrast. You're not judging it in any way against yourself or anybody else. That's Abraham Hicks. And there's so much truth in that. And so our affirmation for today is the basis of life is freedom. The results of life is expansion. And the perfect purpose of life is joy. That's also from Abraham Hicks. And I just want to say that affirmation is what we are all about here at St. George CSL. And so with that, I'm going to end with an affirmative prayer. And I invite you to just relax and let go so that the authentic self that you truly are can step in and take command of your life, because it is blissful. Okay. So knowing that there is only one mind, and knowing that that mind is beautiful, and that mind is my mind right here and right now. I step into that beauty, that colorful, wonderful, magnificent beauty is right where I am. And so knowing this for myself, for Stephanie, I know it for each and every one of you, because there is no separation. There is only oneness. There is only this one mind. It is a world that is mental, and I step into it anytime I choose. And I have that, and I claim that for myself and for each and every one of us here. Knowing that it is already done, I feel it with an awesome boldness that just reaches out and grabs anyone who will listen just by my own authenticity. And so I release it into the law, knowing that it is done. As together we say yes, and so it is.
Thank you, Stephanie. What a beautiful affirmation and affirmative prayer. So we're so grateful to Sue, yourself, and also Bill to do such a wonderful wrap up of June. So thank you.
All right.
So we've got some announcements. Last day of June for Pride Month. I hope you've all enjoyed the festivities and the beautiful month of color that Pride always gives us. Prayer requests you can see on the screen, www.csl.org. Our practitioners are more than willing to pray with you, for you, whatever you need, just please reach out. As Stephanie said, our Zoom conversation, she's given you a challenge to share some things, so please join us for that conversation at noon. Abundant prosperity. There are so many wonderful ways that you can help us prosper. You can give with Zelle. It's a bank-to-bank transfer system. You can see in the newsletter for instructions to do that. You can give online. We have a PayPal link, the QRS code that you can simply just take a picture with your phone or give by mail. Whichever you choose to give, we greatly, greatly appreciate your support. So upcoming Sundays, the 7th, Reverend Joe will be back. What if perfection isn't the goal? And then the 14th, our in-person gathering, please join us at the Masonic Lodge. It's always so good to touch base when we can be together. So now Marina's going to pop us all back up so that we can do our closing affirmation. And here we are. There we are. So I invite you to say this with us and to speak it out loud. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it. I embrace it and I share it.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it's becoming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Bye.
Woohoo!
Thank
Thanks
you,
for being
everyone.
here.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Join us on Zoom.
See you soon.